Coming up on the Suze Orman Show. The new tricks of the trade to get you to spend money you don't have. Also, when I look at your money, you know what scares me? Is that you have $11 right now. $11 in your emergency fund.
We truly need help.
And you ask me, can I afford it?
I would love to spend between $1,200 and $1,500 on a miniature red poodle puppy.
That's the cutest little thing I ever saw. Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching the Suze Orman Show. Tonight, I want to talk to you about the new tricks of the trade. What creditors are doing to get you to spend money that you don't have. Now, please pay attention here, because I would have thought that really, given what happened in 2008, 2009, 2010, all of us would have learned our lessons, and we wouldn't get suckered back into spending money again on things that we really can't afford. But nope. That's not what's happening out there. All of you are getting a bigger and bigger appetite to once again get into real estate, to once again drive cars that are bigger and better, to do all kinds of things that you shouldn't be doing. Let me give you a few examples. So now you want to buy a home, but you don't have any money down to buy a home. Well, just a few years ago, good luck being able to buy a home with no money down. Now you can. You also can buy a home where they piggyback loans. You know, you take one loan out for 80% and you piggyback a home equity line of credit on top of that. Are you kidding me? That is back? How could that possibly be? That is how we got into trouble to begin with. On top of that, if you don't have at least 20% to put down, do you know how the banks always charge you PMI, private mortgage insurance? And normally PMI is to go away after you have at least 20% or more equity in the home. Well, guess what, everybody? And you pay attention here. Now, many of the loans out there that come with PMI, the PMI is going to be there for the life of the loan. It will never go away, no matter how much equity you have in the home. So why would you do something like that? I don't know. Sounds like a good idea to you. Get to buy a home with no money down. Be very, very careful. Next, you want to buy a car. And I've always said to you, you are not to buy a car if you have to finance it for more than 3 years. Many of you were financing for 5 years. Many of you were financing for 7 years. Now, you can finance up to what? 96 months. Are you kidding me? You're going to buy a car and you're able to afford it because you're going to pay interest for the next 96 months. I'm telling you, things have gone bizarre again at the exact time they shouldn't be going bizarre. So you need to stay very strict with yourself. You need to not get tricked into doing something that you really can't afford. And just because you see your neighbors doing it, just because now everybody's moving up in homes and cars, doesn't mean that they have the money to do so. So stay solid, stay honest, and only do those things that you really can afford. We're going to North Carolina. Teresa, go for it.
Hi. Back in 2011, my brother asked me if I could add him onto my credit card so that he could start his own business.
Yeah.
And in a year, he would transfer everything to his name. Unfortunately, the business closed, and it has left me with almost $100,000 in debt, and the creditors are now coming after me.
Yeah.
They call me so often that I rarely answer my phone because I really don't have any answers for them. And I used to have excellent credit scores before all of this, but now I'm too afraid to even know what they are. I don't know how to get out of this. What do you think I should do?
Did you know he was using them to the tune of $100,000?
Well, actually, I didn't because I qualified for a little over 70, and to start the business. And so, no, I didn't know.
But you knew he was using your credit cards and charging things on them.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
that you knew.
I did.
All right. Teresa, how much money do you make a year today?
I make about $40,000.
Okay. What is the rule of thumb on the Suze Orman Show? When you make as much as you owe, you are technically bankrupt. In that case, it would be $40,000. If you owed $40,000, you would be technically bankrupt. But no, you make $40,000 and you don't owe 40. You don't owe 80. You owe $100,000. Next, do you own a home?
No.
All right, so you're just renting, correct?
Well, I do own a home, but it's yes, I do own a home, but it's not. My name is not on it.
All right, so therefore, the advice to you is this. The only way you're going to get out of this is to claim bankruptcy. I am so sorry to say. Listen, your FICO scores are already ruined because I'm sure that nobody has the money to be paying even the minimum payment due on $100,000.
That's correct.
You did not do this on your own. Somebody did this to you, although you allowed it to happen. So now you have to learn from your mistakes. Since your FICO scores are already ruined, claim bankruptcy, start all over again, and don't ever, ever, ever let anybody have their name on your credit cards again. We're going to Virginia. Kevin, ask me your question.
Hello, Susie. Thanks for taking my call. My in-laws worked for the same company for 30 years. When the stock market crashed in 2008, they lost almost all their retirement, which was about $500,000. They had to sell their house, and they have about $20,000 left from the sale of their home. They're moving in with us. I'm very excited about that. They're wonderful people. They take great care of our son. And my father-in-law makes $1,200 a month in Social Security. My mother-in-law does not yet qualify for Social Security. What investment advice can you give me to help them get back up on their feet?
Yeah. I'm not so sure it's investment advice as much as it is family advice. What's going to be most difficult for them is that they're going to feel that they're a burden on you and your wife. They're going to feel, which is their daughter, they're going to feel that they failed on some level. So it will be up to you and their daughter, your wife, to make them understand that this is the greatest thing that ever happened to you. You know what so touched me, Kevin, when you said that they were moving in, you said, I'm so excited. Yeah. Keep that excitement alive. How old are they currently?
He is 65. And she is 63.
All right. Now, what can happen here, just so you know, is if he is claiming Social Security right now, she can claim a portion of his, like 35% of whatever he is claiming. So that will bring in a little bit more money. But can they do anything with this $20,000? The truth of the matter is they really can't. So this $20,000 should just be kept safe and sound so they can write little checks here and there. But they really can't take the risk now of letting $20,000 grow because as they already experienced, it can grow or it can shrink. But the most important thing here isn't about money. It is about love. And it is about showing them that you hope they get to stay with you for the rest of their lives. Let's go to Megan in New York. You are on the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie. I'm calling to ask, when my fiancé and I were engaged, he purchased a home. We talked about adding my name to the deed after we got married. However, 4 years later, I'm still waiting for that to happen. My husband has a dangerous job, and I'm worried if something happens to him or even to our relationship, what will happen to my home?
Yeah, and so does he have a will?
We actually have an appointment to complete that this week.
All right. And so if, in fact, he were to die and the house is just in his name and he leaves it to you via a will, then that will have to be probated, and it will probably cost you a significant amount of money to get the house that you have been living in. What you could do as well is create a living revocable trust so that at least you would get the house upon his death without it having to go through probate. But here's the real question. Why is he hesitating to put your name on it as joint tenants, which would be the easiest way for you to feel comfortable about this?
We would have to hire a lawyer to do it, and it will be several $100s.
Several $100s, several $100s, and like you don't think several $100s is worth you being okay by having your name on something that would allow you to sleep at night and not have to worry?
Oh, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, but why doesn't he? You've been wanting to do this now for 4 years. What is stopping him? It's not several $100s. What's stopping him?
I don't know.
That's
I don't know.
what you
he
have.
He doesn't want to consider the possibility that we'll ever end our relationship, I guess.
And so, but doesn't that make you wonder? Doesn't that make you feel a little bit more insecure about even being in this relationship? I mean, listen to your voice, really, Megan, as you're talking to me. Well, I guess, You're a powerful woman. But yet, there's something about this relationship that has rendered you powerless. You need to figure that one out. I bet there are people on your blocks and go, I wish we could live the lifestyle that Byron and Jasmine are living. Look at them and their fancy house, their fancy cars. Do you think that's what they think?
They might.
And later, when wanting something, ask me, can I afford it? Are you telling me you want to spend $20,000 to build a garage so that your husband has even more space to keep more of his junk?
That's correct.
Welcome back, everybody, to a case of better late than never. My one-on-one tonight is with Jasmine. She's come to us from Dallas, Texas. Jasmine is 32. She works in the finance department of a car company. She's been married to Byron for almost 7 years, and he works in IT. They have 2 children together, and Byron has 2 more from a previous relationship. Jasmine says she just started watching the Suze Orman Show a few months ago, and they have cut back considerably, but they're still using credit cards to cover up the gap, and she needs help. So, Jasmine, first of all, welcome. How are you, girlfriend?
Thank you. I am wonderful.
Good. So what happened a few months ago? Where have you been? We've been on the air for 12 years, right? So you're watching me, and what rang true for you? What changed in you emotionally, psychologically speaking?
Well, one of the comments that you made, Susie, was standing in your truth. Mm-hmm. And basically, I want to stand in my truth and know that we truly need help. And I'm here to say that, you know, I made some mistakes along the way that have brought us here, but I'm ready to move forward, and I have nowhere to go but up.
So if we were to look at the truth of your situation, we have a situation where you're both doing pretty good when you look at money here. I mean, you're both bringing home together almost $7,000 a month of after-tax income, all right? So you're at $6,700 to be exact, but you are spending $7,244 per month, so you have a deficit of $500 per month. Now, I've looked at your expenses, and you have essentially cut out everything you can possibly cut out. How does it feel knowing that every penny you spend is a penny that you have to spend?
It's hard. Sometimes I'm angry about it. Sometimes I'm sad about it. And because I want to do certain things for my kids, because for me, it's easy for me to just say, oh, I don't need this, I don't need that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to my kids, that's when it's more, when it hurts more.
So you've cut back essentially on quite a few things, but you know what I also just heard you say, and I want you to think about this. You said that you're angry because you want more money so that you can spend it on your kids. But when I look at your money, you know what scares me? is that you have $11 right now. $11 in your emergency fund. And that is it. While you do have $40,000 almost in retirement, if you needed to get money right now, all we have is $11. So you have 4 kids that are minors. You have a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 12-year-old, but we don't have a will. We don't have a trust. We don't have the things that these kids really, really need to take care of themselves, and you hardly have any life insurance on you at all. What really is probably weighing heavy on you, I'm not sure about Byron because I haven't been able to talk to Byron, that is the fact that you don't have a security blanket for the children. And that you feel, I would imagine that you feel like you are crumbling under the weight of the load that you are carrying. Is that true?
Yes.
All right. So let's see if we can start really to lighten your load. And because the problem, as I see it, is that here you are, a beautiful woman. I imagine your husband is handsome. Why would you marry anybody else? That's besides the point, right?
Yes, he is.
But a very good-looking couple, beautiful children. You live in a 5-bedroom home. You drive 2 cars that are 2013 that you get to lease because you work for a car company. And so you get this great deal on these 2 brand new cars that you're driving, leasing them. And so to the whole world, you look like the perfect family. I bet there are people on your blocks and go, I wish we could live the lifestyle that Byron and Jasmine are living. Look at them and their fancy house, their fancy cars. How do you think they do it, honey? So when people look at you, do you think that's what they think?
They might.
They might.
I can see it.
Yeah. And because not only might they think it, but it's very hard when you have all the signs of wealth around you, yet you only have $11 in your emergency fund. So I think it's very important that we start to lighten your load and make sure that nothing could go wrong now with any plan we put into action. You
Yes.
currently have a home, a rental home, or it's a condo actually, and
Yes.
that condo is just about breaking even. I want you to sell that condominium and lighten your load. Next, you have almost $30,000 in credit card debt at a pretty high interest rate. And we have 4 kids with only $11 in an emergency fund, and you're paying about $500 or $600 a month towards that credit card debt. But yet, cutting everything out, we're still $500 a month in deficit. Therefore, in this particular situation, to protect the children, because I need money to start accumulating so that you have savings, you have an emergency thing, there is money there in case something goes wrong, that I would like you to consider claiming bankruptcy. The bankruptcy will actually free up $600 per month. That's now gives you $100 a month that you can actually save because you're $500 a month in deficit. So now we've gotten rid of the credit card debt by claiming bankruptcy. We've gotten rid of the condo. We've lightened the load. And now what we have to do is you and Byron both need to get either a second job or a second and a third job, because we need more money coming in than just pays the bills. And if you do all of that, now you're standing on solid ground. Now you're living in the reality of the situation that you created for yourself. How does that feel when I say to you what you need to do?
Even though I've thought about it, it's hard to swallow because before this day, my credit and my husband's credit was immaculate. I mean, we had over 730 credit scores. I've never been late on a payment for anything.
But Jasmine, you've been able to pay your bills on time by using credit card money to fund everything that you're doing. You came on because you wanted to stand in the truth. And I want you to stand in the truth. But what I just told you is the truth. It is the truth of how to turn your situation around. Stay in touch with us because we want to know what happens, okay?
Okay.
All right, girlfriend, bye-bye. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
I would love to spend between $1,200 and $1,500 on a miniature red poodle puppy.
That's the cutest little thing I ever saw. Also,
I want to buy hardwood floors for my condo, and it costs somewhere between $9,000 and $10,000.
have you ever put in one of these floors? I used to do it, bam, bam, with this thing in your knee. What do you want to buy?
Exchange student in Italy. Hardwood floors for my condo.
Miniature red poodle puppy.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in, you tell me what it is that you want to buy, and I tell you if you can afford it or not. Nancy, girlfriend, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. Thanks so much for having me on the show. My 14-year-old daughter would like to be an exchange student in Italy her sophomore year in high school. Costs $14,000. I'd love to let her go. She'll become bilingual, and it'll give me a great excuse to go visit her.
So I have to tell you, Italy is fabulous. So let's hope you can afford it. Show me the money.
Well, my take-home pay is $5,190 a month.
Great.
My expenses are $4,950 a month. For debt, I have $153,000 on a 30-year fixed mortgage and $4,500 on a home equity loan. And in savings, I've got $30,000 saved, $45,000 in investments, and $279,000 in retirement.
And Nance, how are you going to pay for this?
Well, I'm going to have to pay for it out of my liquid savings.
Which brings us down to $15,000 and brings me to deny you. I would love for your daughter to be able to experience that. I would love for you to get to go and visit her. But here you are, 52 years of age. You don't have enough money in retirement. You're short already on your emergency fund. You just don't have the money. And shortly, child support will stop. And then your income goes down, and now your expenses are less than your income. Girlfriend, you're heading for trouble if you do that. Please don't let her go. All right, Marnie, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. We want to build a $20,000 detached garage. We currently have a 2-car attached garage, but can hardly fit 1 car in it due to all of my husband's tools and toys. We need more space for his things, the kids' toys, and our cars.
So are you telling me you want to spend $20,000 to build a garage so that your husband has even more space to keep more of his junk and the kids' toys that probably neither of them need? Is that what you're asking me?
That's correct.
That's right. Show me the money.
Our take-home is $81.58 a month. Our expenses are $48.91 a month. For debt, we have $203,000 on a 30-year fixed mortgage. And in savings, we have $56,000 liquid, $34,000 in investments, and $188,000 in retirement.
And how are you going to pay for this?
We plan to take it out of our liquid savings account.
Which then brings us down to $36,000 in liquid savings when you need $40,000 of an emergency fund. And the real sad part about it is if you have ever built anything, and I have built a lot, if this is coming in at $20,000, you could expect to spend at least $30,000. I don't care what anybody says. You can count on one hand the number of times a project comes in on budget denied because you don't have enough money. But I can tell you what you can do. Get rid of all his junk and these toys and use the garage that you currently have and take that money and do something better with it, like build a financial future for yourself. All right, Brenda, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. How are you?
I'm good, Brenda. What do you want to buy?
I would love to spend between $1,200 and $1,500 on a miniature red poodle puppy. Our dog died last year, and we really miss having a family pet.
Oh, that's the cutest little thing I ever saw.
You know, this poodle doesn't shed, and it won't aggravate my allergies, and we want to look for a little female. Don't you think she's precious?
I have to tell you, I think she is so precious, it's not even funny. But I also think what's precious is to make sure that you have the money for her, because a little poodle or any animal isn't just about $1,200 or $1,500. It's about the vet, if they get sick, if they need it could be a lot of money, girlfriend. So show me the money.
Okay. Well, Susie, between my husband and I, we have a combined take-home of $6,050 a month.
Great.
And our expenses are about $3,700 a month.
Yeah.
We have a $45,000 5-year fixed home equity line of credit at 4% and a $12,000 car loan at 0%. We own our second home outright, and we use that for our vacations. In savings, we have $29,000 liquid, $6,000 in investments, and $561K in retirement.
And how are you going to pay for this?
Well, I would either use liquid, or we do have a tax return coming shortly that we could pay for it in full.
All right, so I have two answers for you. One is you are currently denied because I know, I'm so sorry, you're short in the money that you need to eventually retire. However, you're also a little short in your emergency fund by about $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. So just save up a little more money. Give me and show me that your emergency fund is up until about $32,000, $34,000. And you have the money to buy this puppy, and then do it. Just wait a little while longer, and then you can do so. All right, Karen, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I want to buy hardwood floors for my condo, and it costs somewhere between $9,000 and $10,000. Right now, I'm living with my original carpet, and it's dirty, old, stained, and all around gross. I think the upgrade would not only look a lot better, but also increase the property value.
Yeah, I have no doubt on that. Have you ever put in one of these floors? When I was younger and I didn't have any money, I put in my own hardware floor, and you get down and you have this little thing you do on your knee and you go, hardwood. Yes, Amy. But Amy was just telling me I didn't say hardwood, wood. But see, I'm not good at words. But I used to do it, bam, bam, with this thing in your knee, and then anyway, forget about it. $9,000 to $10,000. Show me the money.
My take home is $39.49, and that includes some rental income.
Yeah.
My expenses are $28.15 a month. I own my home outright, but have a $16,500 car loan. In savings, I have $49,000 liquid, $33,000 in investments, and $35,000 in retirement.
And how are you going to pay for this?
I would take it all out of my liquid savings.
Yeah, at 28 years of age, you own your home outright. Approved, girlfriend. Plus, you have the money. You are doing great, great, great. Tez, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I'd like to take a guided tour of Japan for $3,000. My father was stationed in Japan during Vietnam and always wanted to go back for a visit. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2011 of cancer before he got the chance. So I want to honor him and make the trip myself.
All right. So $3,000 to go to Japan. Show me the money.
All righty. So our take-home pay is about $6,000 a month.
Yep.
Our expenses are about $4,700 a month.
Yep.
In debt, we have $96,000 on a 30-year fixed mortgage, $36,000 in car loans, $1,500 in credit card debt, and $25,000 in student loan debt. In our savings, we have $26,000 liquid and $63,000 in retirement.
Denied. Denied. You're not even close to being able to afford that. Listen, if you really want to honor your father, honor him by getting out of credit card debt. Honor him by building up your retirement. Honor him by having more of all kinds of money there, but don't honor him by going to Japan and getting further and further into debt and using up your money. By the way, take some of your money that's in your emergency fund and get rid of your credit card debt at 13%. Okay, want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? All you have to do is go to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and you'll find the information you need to know there to come and play with me right here. And if we have you on, Robo-Man, give me a strike. Bam! Right there. Look, you get a t-shirt. I think they're so cool. V-neck, and it will say you have been approved or denied by me. Next, I tackle trending topics in Ask Suze. Here you are, Mama Bear, putting $150 a month away for your children when you don't have money for yourself. What are you thinking? Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Here we are in the control room at CNBC headquarters. So many ways for you to reach us here. Take a look at your screen. You can send in an email. You can join me on Facebook. Or if you put hashtag Ask Suze on your tweet, it comes right to us here. And if we choose it, you will be on the air. All right, everybody, let's see what's trending right now. At TID for Prez. My new real job doesn't have a 401k plan. Should I keep the old retail job on weekends and put earnings towards 401k? I'm a student. TID for Prez, come on, you got to be smarter with your money than that. You don't work a job simply because they have a 401k plan. You work a job so that you can make money to put into the best retirement plan out there. And truthfully, the best one is a Roth IRA. So work a job that you love. That could be weekends at another job as well. And put your money into a Roth IRA, and you will be far better off if you do that. Let's see what else is trending. All right, at Casey Jordan 2. I'm a poor college student, but then who isn't a poor college student? Anyway, my car is about to die, and I need another. Should I spend $5,000 of my $6,000 savings on it? Boyfriend, that is what savings happen to be for. So it doesn't seem to me like $5,000 is a lot to spend on a car. Now, your tweet said you need. This isn't a want, you need a car. So if you need it, go ahead and do it. Let's go to Webcam. We have Leanne coming to us from New York. Girlfriend, ask me your question.
Hi, Suze. I have 529 accounts for all three of my children, and I put $50 a month in each account. I'm beginning to wonder if that $50 is going to get me anywhere when it comes to saving for college. What do you think?
Well, how old are the kids?
10, 8, and 3.
And you've been doing this for a while, correct?
Yeah. Yes, for the 10-year-old.
All right, so chances are by the time they're each 17 or 18 years of age, at $50 a month, you're going to have about anywhere from $14,000 to $18,000 per kid to last them all 4 years. Now, that's not going to get them through 4 years of college, but something is better than nothing. Got that, girlfriend? But here's the real question. Do you have any credit card debt?
A little bit.
What's a little bit?
About $6,000.
That is not a little bit. That is a lot. Do you have an 8-month emergency fund? No. Do you fully fund? No, I can already tell you the answers to these questions. You don't fully fund your Roth IRA. You have credit card debt. You probably owe something on your cars. You probably financed your cars. And yet, here you are, Mama Bear, putting $150 a month away for your children when you don't have money for yourself. The real question is, what are you thinking? So yes, it will help them a little bit. But I'm here to tell you $150 a month in your particular situation will help you a lot. Got it? All right, everybody. I hope all of you get that as well. Let's go back to the studio, and here's what's coming up next. Susan wants to know, Susie.
How am I doing?
You are approximately $3,300 a month short of what you need.
Okay. Well, we need to make some changes.
Hi, Susie.
Judy, you're on there with Susie on the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, it is so great to get through to you.
Thank you, Judy. Thanks for calling. What can I do for you?
I have a appointment at the bank tomorrow with a financial advisor, and I was in an absolute panic.
Well, you know what? I have to tell you, even before you ask your question, I'm already sitting here sweating bullets because, first of all,
my palms are sweating.
No, well, I'm telling you, it's kind of sticky. It's like a financial advisor and a financial advisor at a bank. That is a combination that is going to give you financial gas. I'm serious about this, so let me just here burp it up for me, girlfriend. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie. I'm 46 and a single mom of 2 college kids, ages 19 and 21. In the past 5 years, I've been laid off, gone through divorce, and I took a $300,000 loss on my home. It wiped out all of my savings, and for nearly a year, I lived off of credit cards. But now I'm self-employed, and I've paid off my debt. My goal is to retire at age 60 so I can travel and enjoy my outdoor fun. Susie, how am I doing?
Susan, welcome to the Suze Orman Show. How are you tonight?
I'm good, Susie. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be part of your show.
Oh, thank you. If you were going to give yourself a grade as to how you are currently doing, assuming nothing changes over the next 14 years till you want to retire, what grade would you give yourself?
I'm going to have to give myself about a C.
A C. All right. Let's see what I give you. But first, let's show everybody your numbers. All right, Susan is 46. She is single. She has about $35,000 in a retirement account, about $70,000 in an emergency fund, about $12,000 in investments. She does still owe $19,200 on a car loan. She's currently renting, so there's no home, no mortgage debt. So here we are at the age of 46 with a net worth of about $98,000. Did I just hear you do
Yes.
Yes. Is that because it surprised you?
No, it's because I know that several years ago, before all this took place, I was in such better shape, and it's just kind of disheartening.
Yeah, but you know what, Susan, before we even go on, it shouldn't be disheartening. It should be you're 46 years of age, and you have so many years left to really create a whole new life for yourself. I feel like my life didn't even start for me till I was 50. So you have so much time, so don't feel disheartened, girlfriend, because I'm going to take care of you here.
All right, great,
let's show everybody your expenses versus your income. Susan does now take home, after taxes, $8,350 a month. Now, if you shouldn't be proud about that, girlfriend, I don't know what you should be proud about. Your monthly expenses are about $5,763. You're able to save $1,416 a month, and you still have above that $1,171 that you could save if you wanted to. So
that sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
You know what? It doesn't sound pretty good. It sounds great. But what makes something great is what do you do with the money you have, and will it allow you to reach your goal? And if you keep doing everything the way that you're doing it, I've given you an F when it comes to reaching your goal at the age of 60, and let me tell you why. Because you're currently renting, you're probably always going to be renting until something else changes. So you're going to have a monthly need of still about $6,000. When you retire at the age of 60, your retirement plans are only going to provide for you about $1,700 a month of after-tax income. Your pension after tax is only going to be about $960 a month. So you're going to have a total of about $2,700 a month of after-tax income, but your needs are $6,000 a month. So you are approximately $3,300 a month short of what you need.
Okay, well, we need to make some changes.
All right, so here is your way to an A. You are going to work until you are 67 years of age. You are going to fund your Roth IRA absolutely to the max. I do not want you to do a traditional IRA anymore. And what you're also going to do is little by little, you are going to start to convert the money that is in a traditional IRA into a Roth conversion account. I need you to start living on less money so that you can save, save, and save. You are going to start investing. Currently, you are saving $1,000 a month into cash. You are going to take that $1,000 and invest it every single month. Currently, you have 3 cars. I only want you to have 1 car. I do not want you to take Social Security until you are 67 years of age. I also want you to think about, can you take any of the money that you are saving and can you buy a house so that by the time you are 67 years of age, you own it outright so we don't have $1,400 a month in rent or whatever it will be at that point in time. Now, if you do all of that, here's what it will look like for you. Your pension now, because you've worked till you are 67, will be $1,320 after taxes. You're taking Social Security, and after taxes, that will be $1,619. You're going to have at least, and I'm conservative here, $1,200 a month after taxes from your Roth IRA. Next, if you save everything and do it correctly, that should yield to you about $2,000 a month after taxes. You put all of that together, your after-tax income will be $6,139 at the age of 67, which allows you to make it. Now, that's cutting it close. But if you continue to make more money, you continue to invest wisely, you do everything correctly, and maybe don't have to take Social Security till 70, you would be doing really great. Coming up next, one more thing I want you to know. I'm glad that you pay your bills on time. I'm glad if you have a great FICO score. But it's more important that you really do stand in your truth. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Well, guess what? It's almost a wrap here on the Suze Orman Show. But before we go, there's still one more thing that I want you to know. Earlier tonight, my one-on-one was with Jasmine, a woman, and her husband, Byron, who wasn't with us tonight, however, has almost $30,000 in credit card debt. She has 4 kids, $11 to her name, no will, no trust, no retirement to say, really in trouble, okay? But yet, she was so proud because she never paid a bill late, and she had a great FICO score. Now, when I did the numbers for Jasmine, it came up that she was literally $500 a month short of being able to pay her bills from the income coming in. So what did Jasmine do? She just bought things on credit cards to pay for the needs that she has, but yet she pays the bills on time. Listen, everybody, I'm glad that you pay your bills on time. I'm glad if you have a great FICO score. But it's more important that you really do stand in your truth. Just because you're paying your bills on time because you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper into credit card debt isn't something that you should be proud about. What you should be proud about is going out and getting another job, decreasing your expenses, doing anything you can possibly do so that the money you have coming in is enough to not only pay your bills, but it's enough for you to also save money for your future. Because in the future, a great FICO score isn't going to help you if you don't have any money. Got that? Now you know. So until next week, there's only one thing that I really want you to remember when it comes to your money, and it is this: people first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe.